Yeah, now that he has the Datacron, he certainly does put the pow in powerful. Odor. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. This current 3v3 upcoming season is going to be very complex. It's going to have a lot of teams that we need to discuss and plan, and so I've got this 3v3 best offensive teams video for you. I also have the 3v3 best defensive teams video for you. Tomorrow I'll have one from my 8 million GP account to talk about what I'm taking there, and it's a more of a long form video, and that'll discuss things for smaller accounts, and we're just trying to help people get started with 3v3, because it's tough to remember how to 3v3, especially as we transition from one Datacron set to another. Huge shout out to my patrons, by the way. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys so much for your support. I couldn't do this without you. I really appreciate, like, most of you. Like, approximately 51%. I'm kidding. You guys are awesome. And if you want to support the channel for free, folks, all you gotta do is hit that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, comment, mount the algorithm, please. It's not bad. As a perpetual mount. Anyways, let's move on. We don't need to talk about that. They don't need to know. Alright, so, I don't even, this is a very complicated set. So we got rid of all the Galactic Republic stuff, we swapped it out for Rogue One and Jedi, which Jedi have been on the docket quite a bit lately. But we've got Jedi, we've got Rogue One, Night Sisters, and Imperial Remnant, and so most of our Datacrons are going to be coming from set 16, which is the one right before it. It had all of the crazy things that gave us all headaches. You know, almost all of you know what that set is, so that's what we're going for. But the Rogue One stuff is actually going to be very impactful, especially in 3v3. There's some of the other stuff is also going to be, the Jedi stuff is good. So let's see, we've got Lord Vader here on offense. I just think she loses to Bo-Katan. She, as in Bo-Katan, beats Lord Vader all the time. Lord Vader probably just doesn't want to go on defense, folks. Sorry to say it. You know, there is a Garkron. I'm not a huge fan of using the Garkron in 3v3 even. You can put it on defense if you want. Of course, this is the offense video. The defense video is coming out at the same exact time, and you can click on it in the video description. I should have mentioned that. And as well as that, come watch me on Twitch, folks. If you want to see these ideas all hatched and used live, you can come watch me for free on Twitch. It's a good time. We are crazy there, like in a very subdued, non-obvious way. We are just totally insane. So yeah, Lord Vader on offense, probably just gonna kill. I mean, you put an offense cron on these guys and they're gonna do some decent stuff. They're gonna hit twice, and honestly, him hitting twice and being able to you know, do more damage like that's gonna probably speed up his ability to kill people, as hitting people twice usually does. He's also, Lord Vader's guaranteed to crit, so having an attacker cron on him gets a double crit from him. That's not bad, especially for crit reasons. I don't know. Oh, okay, so we have Cere the Eternal Emperor here. I mean, he used to be such a god in 3v3 on defense. Now, I mean, he can still be okay. The problem is, if you can kill the ads, like, you're not going to get stuck on him usually. And if you do, you can usually just throw, you kill the ads fairly easily. And then you just send Wampa in. Wampa deletes him very nicely. This one is a tricky one. So what do we do with Supreme Leader Kylo? He doesn't have his Datacron anymore, his amazing one. And so here's something that I didn't remember. Oh, and by the way, huge shout out to Tom Ford, who was extremely helpful in helping me discuss all the 3v3 stuff, because frankly, some of this stuff you just need to bounce ideas off of people and figure it out. So he was definitely instrumental in this and deserves a shout out. But this is one of the things he reminded me of. I was like, man, do we have to use Malicos with Supreme Leader Kylo to kill Leia now? I don't remember. And he's like, oh, I think that's just armor and Geobrood Alpha, which I think is probably true. And then otherwise, I don't know if we need crew to go with the Cere Malicos squad. I mean, there's a lot of like big question marks. Like, do you have the right cron for these things? Are you prepared for some crazy stuff to go down? And so crew, you could swap him out for First Order First Order Stormtrooper. Stormtrooper's not as good, but you could. And then crew you could save for offense, other places. But if you're keeping all of these teams on offense anyways, you can kind of be reactive and say, oh yeah, this time I do need crew. So Supreme Leader Kylo probably just going to be killing some kind of galactic legend. I mean, Kenobi's not as good as he was anymore. Of course, Kylo's not as good as he was anymore either. And kill Leia, say the Eternal Emperor. There's going to be a lot of people who put Jedi Master Luke on defense this season. There's a lot of different targets, and I think Kylo, with his ramping and everything, I mean, he usually does his inefficient best to destroy people, so it's not too bad. It's not the end of the world, folks. We also have Inquisition, who have fallen kind of far now. They used to have a really handy dandy. It was both handy and dandy, both things, both adjectives. They had a nice cron, folks. They had a few of them, and now they're gone, which rhymes with cron, of course. And it's just it's a little sad. They just have to use like an attacker cron, or I guess they could use a support cron if. What is Seventh Sister? What is she's a healer. Ooh. Okay, never mind. Don't use a support cron, folks. But they're weakened, right? They're not as strong. It's their strength is diminished, and so let's use them on offense. And here's the thing, guys. There are a lot of little teams that are going to trip us up. Like, yes, there's Galactic Legends. Beware. Like, they'll be on defense too. There's going to be a ton of little teams. Like, Jedi teams are going to be all over the place, stunning the hell out of you. And one of the things that Inquisition does really nicely is have bonuses against Jedi. They get bonuses, and they also refuse to be stunned, which is nice against Jedi, like I've just said a couple times. So they'll still be decent. I think putting them on defense is, honestly, I think this might be the season that Rogue One just takes them to the cleaners with the Rogue One stuff. I think that this is the time that the Inquisition could get hunted if they're on defense. So keep them for offense, because we're already putting like 5 Galactic Legends on defense. Probably not. Probably 3 or 4 of them though. Honestly, they're all kind of viable in some ways on defense, folks. So now here's one that is a big question mark. So first off, you want to use the Tank Revive level 3 from set 16 here, because Malgus is super frustrating with it. If you put Basti on this team and a support cron, then you're going to ramp Malgus's defense quite a bit, and you'll ramp the offensive capabilities of Darth Revan, because Basti has the support ability. Oh, you guys can't see it, but she does have support, and she therefore is able to, she hands out all the debuffs, and that's nice, but that also buffs your tanks, it makes them more tanky, and it makes your attackers more attacky, so it's kind of nice. Otherwise, you could go with the classical build with Darth Malak here. I mean, I don't know where else you put Malak, like, just shove him on the Eternal Emperor's team unwillingly, like, I don't know, like awkwardly put him with Rey because you think that's gonna trick your opponent. You could do that, but I would advise just not being dumb. And probably I think I'm gonna lean toward Malak just going on this team, and then you have 2 really strong tanks. You could even put the tank level 6 with them. It doesn't suck, folks. And Basti, she's more inclined to be. She's less inclined to be good. We'll just say that, folks. She's she's not as skilled at that component of her job. So anyways, we've got Darth Bane. Obviously, we're not going to have a rule of 3, and hopefully not. Don't be an idiot and don't jump into a battle like I did one time with Darth Bane. It's the rule of 1. I was like, we're trying a new. Oh, I'm dead. It was horrific. It was when we had his Datacron and I could summon someone, and I thought that was enough, and it wasn't. So, anyways, he's. Man, I always just feel like I should get a tinfoil hat. I feel like he's diminished, guys, in ways that weren't there when he was first released. And I know that the Datacron set some unreasonable expectations for us. He was really strong while he had his Datacron, and now we're back on ground level. And I just feel like he is... I still feel like he's diminished. I still feel like he is... Like, they stealth nerfed him, is what I think. And I know people think I'm crazy for that, but I don't think I'm crazy. I think I'm the only sane one here, but he's still gonna kill some stuff on offense. Honestly, it's nice he doesn't get stunned. He'll be able... There's gonna be a lot of foresight Jedi out there, and a lot of Jedi who can stun, and a lot of Jedi could do both. He's gonna do okay. He'll be okay. He'll find his place. This is one place you could put Malak, by the way, folks, because I believe that Cat prioritizes killing Malak with her first leap, so you could do that if you wanted to. I mean, that kind of sucks, but, you know, that's fine. Otherwise, like, can he kill Leia? I think Leia... It depends on what the Leia comp is going to be, but I think she out-ramps him if you put the tank cron on her, or if you're using, like, a rebel, like a POW cron. I think Leia's going to be really strong this season, folks, with all the madness. So beware with Darth Bane. He's not as hardy as you might think. Let's see. CLS. They just don't have... I don't know. None of them are rebel fighters. Yes, they're rebels. Yes, they fight. And they're not rebel fighters. They're not like, you know, rebel vernacular for peasant, you know? Like, they're like royalty. They deserve nice things. At least one of them earns medals. So, you know, it's not a bad team. What can you do with these guys? You know, this team you could throw on defense if you really needed a filler team, but there's nothing to, like, make them immune to the vile depredations of the Imperial Troopers or something. They'll just get punched right in the face. And, you know, give them an attacker cron and it'll kill General Skywalker pretty nicely, I think. You know, I think with an attacker cron, they actually do quite a bit of damage, and they gain a lot of turn meter because of the mechanics involved with CLS handing them stuff, and C-3PO handing them more stuff, and, you know, all my non-specific babble here is probably grating, so let's move on. This team seems like maybe we'll just never use it on defense, or on offense, whatever, but it's probably too weak to go on defense. Gungans, I don't know. So in 5s, they're going to be really good because you can put a support cron with them. They hand out all these debuffs. Everyone gets the stuff they need. They're like, yeah, I'm an attacker. I get to do attacking things. I'm a tank. I'm going to do tanking things. I'm a support. I'm going to do bra things. Bro things. Support things. So, right, so I don't... In 5s, they're going to be good. They're going to do really cool stuff. Otherwise, I don't know what they do in 3s, though, because you need Boss Nass. That's non-negotiable. And then if you have Jar Jar, you kind of need him, I think. Or maybe you just don't use him, and you take Phalanx instead, and you do Phalanx. But the thing is, if you do a support cron, you can ramp damage for people who do attacks. You know, attacking people, and, you know, for crit damage. But if you don't have an attacker in the group, you're not going to get that bonus. And so, you know, if you swap out Tarpals for Phalanx, then it's not going to work. And Jar Jar you kind of want him to be there, because he has GAC Omicrons, he does cool stuff. I almost think you just use him on offense, because I don't think that's going to be that tough to beat. They don't have any specifically frog-like boosts, you know? Like the Gungans had really good datacron, and it's gone. Thank God. I hated it. And I think on offense, they could maybe kill some stuff. On defense, it seems like Traya, or most things, just really stomp hard on it. Like, this comp doesn't have a way to defend its shield generator, for instance, and it doesn't have the way for the shield generator to have a lot more stacks. So I don't think on defense it's going to do anything. On offense, that's open to speculation. I guess you could just see what's out there and just give it the old college try. I'm sure we can find something. It is a fairly flexible, good. It's a modern squad that can do a lot of cool stuff. In 3s is just limited because it really wants as many members as it can get. Okay, so we've got Aphra. She is great to clean up your failures on Jabba when you try to kill him with Night Sisters, and you inevitably kill like one of his minions, and then you time out, and then Dr. Aphra steps up, and she's like, hey, I have a support cron, I'm a professional, I know how to do this, and her murder bots pretend like they're R2-D2 and C-3PO, and they're good to go, man. They do clean up Jabba nicely, and they take out a lot of different things as well. If you have a good support cron, they do some cool stuff. It's not too bad. I don't even know, guys. Like they'll kill like a trench team, for instance. Like they do that. As long as she goes first, remember her Omicrons don't work. Don't apply these other 2 Omicrons thinking they're going to replace her output, because their Omicrons are horrible, and they're 3v3 specific, but they are horrible. So don't apply them. And let's move on. She's good at cleanup. She's good at taking out like mid-range teams, and probably nothing to like against the new like Jedi. I think they just get stunned to oblivion, for instance. So not a great thing for Aphra right now. And on defense, they get killed so easily by like a Dash Han team that it's probably not worth it. So this Fennec team will sometimes beat Lord Vader depending on what the datacron is that Lord Vader teams have, and it's just because Bosk with a tank cron is going to be able to tank quite a bit, and Grief. So you don't need Bando on this team necessarily like you traditionally have. Of course, if they have a Thrawn on the team and he's able to fracture Bosk before Bosk goes, then I don't think there's going to be a taunt there, and Maul might just destroy your team. So, unless he decides to hit the Bosk, hit the lizard guy, in which case you kind of got lucky. But, this will be a fun team, sometimes, for some accounts, at least. And, let's see, what else do we have? We have... Alright, so this is the big confusion, folks, and I'll spill the beans. On defense, or maybe on offense, Leia could have POW. You put her with, like, there's a lot of options for Leia right now, but if you use Leia, you put POW on the team, the POW, and you have the POW crons, you need them at Relic 5 at least. I got them to 6. I'm an overachiever is what they have been known to call me, one of the many things they've been known to call me, and, anyways, POW can go in a lot of places. So we can go with Leia and give them a ton of tankiness. Like his cron gives them a lot of that. Or he could go with Adrad, and he doesn't really assist a whole lot. Like there's a couple instances, but for the most part, he would just he's just making them more durable, which is not bad, and they're all Rogue Ones, so they still get some of the cool like level 6 things, which is nice. The level 6 is almost explicitly a Jyn Erso cron, kind of just, it's nice, the wordy version of Rogue One. And then but the thing is, I do really like if you have K2SO Relict, which I know that not everyone has him Relict. He's not required for anything other than the ship, but even the ship doesn't necessarily need him to be Relict for it to be good. So I do like him. If you have his Kron, then Pow can go somewhere else, because there's a lot of other places that kind of want him. This is one place, and I think that Raddus is going to punch way up. There's going to be a lot of Imperial Remnant teams out there, and I think that he's going to potentially beat most of them, because if you can defeat their turn meter loop, which Adrad does passively, then you're able to just stop the Imperial Remnant nonsense that everyone is saying is absolutely broken and may end up getting fixed by CG, who knows, but I do think that Adrad might be like the cheap way to deal with that, and I don't necessarily think you need POW. Time will tell. It's tough to know any of these things. And then, so if you don't want to put POW there, if you don't want to put POW with Leia, you could put POW with Mon Mothma on offense. You get Luthen there, then they summon their commander guy, and everything is good. You get a pretty decent loop with them. You don't get a perfect, endless loop, but of course, every time someone goes, POW is going to do an enormous amount of damage, and I think it'll be an okay offense team. I don't know if it's going to beat all the things, but that's somewhere you could put POW. So, you have options, guys. You could put POW here, or with Mothra, I probably will end up trying him on a Leia team first, because it's going to make that team super durable and really frustrating, and they can call him to assist sometimes. Let's see. Then we have Bo-Katan. Okay, so Sabine could go a lot of different places, folks. She could go with Rey, she could go with Leia, she could go with Bo-Katan, she could go with Phoenix. Phoenix isn't a good option for this, for a 3v3 option, but Sabine isn't needed here all the time. Like, frankly, Bo-Katan kind of just has it going. You could put Bando on this team as well if you're taking out a Lord Vader team. In fact, I think you want Bando instead of Paz. I didn't add that here, so that's just a bonus for you guys actually listening and watching this video. But yeah, you can put Bando on this team, and they do pretty well. Sabine, of course, has a really good Kron, and so she can go anywhere. She could literally be on any team, and she's going to give them a boost on some levels, at least, because she's taking a turn every time your opponents go, which is nice, of course. So like I said, she could be a disruptor on a Rey team, on a Leia team. I mean, she's a rebel after all, so it's kind of good fits there. Just kind of your call, folks. She's pretty good. She isn't absolutely necessary with Bo-Katan, but it's a nice place for her to be. And then we have General Grievous in whatever configuration we want. We could have B2 here instead of Magna Guard. Usually these days you want Grievous with Stap. Then I do like the Enforced. I mean, it's essentially pre-taunt because he puts everyone else into stealth. So then they have to hit Magna Guard, and then he hits them back, and he is taunting. So I like this build. It's not the only type of build you could do. B2 and B1 both offer some really nice things, but what will these guys actually end up accomplishing? It's unclear, folks. I think if someone puts Inquisition down, I think you have a chance at least of taking out some of them. If they have a significantly weaker team, I think this team is gonna do okay. It's not gonna be perfect, obviously. So, you use with caution. This is one of those like break in case of emergencies teams, as far as I understand it, folks. I don't think that there's a team that I'm like, oh, yeah, use Grievous, he will destroy them. For the most part, though, like, he'll do some good damage to a lot of teams. He's one of those characters who's like, yeah, I'll jump in there and slice as much as I can with the help of the battle droids that I demean every day. We have a Cere team with Malicos. This is probably going to be our Nest killer. Now, Nest is still apparently dispelling on basic. She's dispelling some of those locked buffs that people have. She used to dispel everyone's locked buffs. Now it's just Malicos's locked buffs, which sucks because she is a certified Malicos killer, and he doesn't use his savior move on himself. So if she kills him, which she does sometimes, then you don't get savior and you don't get to win. So you could put crew on this team, of course. That's the third member to kill those Rey teams that have Nest on them, because this team is nice because you can hit under protection and everything. And Nest, of course, has a huge bonus protection, and You know, Cere is nice here. Cal is good. If you wanted to put Cal on the team, you could put a support cron, and that's just going to boost Malicos's crit damage, which, you know, sometimes he's not going to want to use crit damage. He does a lot of true damage as well. You can also, one of the things that I was bailed out of recently was I lost Malicos to a Rey team, and then Fulcrum had buffed herself up so much. This was in 5v5, but you know, used a support cron, and she'd gotten so much crit damage boosted onto her that she was able to just one-shot all the things that she was fighting, and she actually won the match even after Malicos was dead. And it was a fairly interesting, awesome situation. So, you know, you have some options. Threes, the support cron doesn't work as well because you're not buffing as many people. You don't have as many people to buff, so you have to kind of get rid of some of the more important elements. I mean, that's just how 3v3 works. But these two are probably my favorites alongside Crew if you really want to tank. This is probably going to be the thing we try to kill Rey with for the most part this season. Unless they don't put Nest on there, then we can use Starkiller. Let's see. So Jedi are going to be good this season. Probably a lot of them are going to be on defense. And so this is our kind of standard team. We could throw Mace on here. We could do whatever we wanted. Could throw some hot sauce on here. Whatever. But these three, I mean, they'll kill a Vin Zori team, but they'll do a lot more. Like, you can get the level 6 Jedi stun, and you're gonna, all three of them already have a different way to stun people. You have an AoE stun, you have an AoE that stuns the target, and you have a mark that stuns everyone. But then you're also going to use specials to stun people. Like, you can just keep people stun locked forever, and that's not too bad, at least. You could do this, so if someone puts a Malgus team on defense, if you can knock out that Darth Revan, use your slice to kill him first, you could just keep Malgus stun locked forever if you wanted to. Kind of an interesting option. Wampa, obviously, he's on offense because you can't put him on defense effectively. If you have the Wampa Cron, he's going to kill some stuff. It's 3v3 after all, and he has a Data Cron that's okay. Let's see, so we could put Bando on this list as well, just like Dash with Han and Chewie. These guys, last season they killed Saw teams. It's going to be tougher. Saw's going to be with Luthen a lot of times on defense, which means you're going to have that taunting offensive carrot. So if they have a really tanky Saw, you don't have a way to kill Saw that easily necessarily, especially if he's really fast and has a lot of health. Like, these guys could kill him when there wasn't a pre-taunt available, or even sometimes when there was a pre-taunt, but with Luthen summoning Worthless Guy, Commander Worthless Guy, to taunt, it's going to be a little more challenging. And so, what else does this team beat? It beats Aphra. It cleans up Galactic Legends sometimes. It will kill, like, you'll take out probably like a trench team with Watt on it, maybe, if you can get the snipe on Watt right away. It'll do some okay work. Don't expect it to be a world beater. I also really like having Dash hang out with Hondo, so you could do that, and then you could throw Bando as the lead, and then it gets like, the dynamics are different, but it's nice. You can actually get a lot of whistling birds because Chewie does 2 instances of damage every time he attacks, and he attacks every time Han attacks, and so you can get tons of stacks in a row with Bando on there. It's not too bad. I like this old Ben team. Like, it gives all the evasion and stuff. Hondo already has a lot of evasion, and L3, of course, she's able to cleanse him of any of those really debilitating debuffs. Will it beat the world? Probably not. You could put it on defense if you wanted to, honestly. A lot of people know how to beat it at this point, but it's not too bad. We have Starkiller. This is our alternative way to kill Rey. It also will kill a lot of Jabba teams, which is really nice. You can watch a video on that. I made a video on it, so you can watch it if you wanted to. That's probably what's going to be my Jabba killer this season, unless I decide to go the Night Sister route. I don't have the new Night Sister stuff listed, folks. I don't have them. I expect most of you don't, and the ones of you that do probably don't need my advice, because all you have to do is set it on defense and win against losers like me who don't have anything more than a 3. Maybe I have a 4-star. I think I bought a couple of those packs just because I had some extra crystals, but you know, my Grey Mothers aren't gonna do much. They're great, though. They are great, that's for sure. And then finally, folks, last but not least, we have the Imperial Troopers team. Because they can't go on defense. I mean, if someone puts a CLS team down, just go punch them right in the face. One thing to keep in mind is if you use them with an offense cron, like an attacker cron, Dark Trooper is not going to ever crit unless he does his AoE. So he can stack up his crit damage if you want him to. But the only time you can actually channel that damage, if you're using a support cron, is when he does his AoE. Otherwise, his damage won't actually... He won't even, because he's not critting, he won't even be able... Well, with an attacker cron, he won't even hit a second time because he's not critting. So, kind of an awkward place for him to be. If you ramp up his crit damage, though, and then you can do an AoE, good things can happen. So, anyways, that's it for the offense teams, folks. Let's go talk about defense teams. It's probably linked below if you would like, or in the video description. So, I'll see you guys over on that video.